Hey folks, Evil DM. I am your Evil DM Vince. This is the Evil DM podcast. This week I was looking around on Reddit, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and I saw something about passing notes during the game and how it's being handled. So how do I, and I know this question wasn't addressed to me directly, but I wanted to address that and how I think about that, because I always find that passing notes during a game is actually kind of a cool concept. And it's something that we did a lot back when I was a kid in the 80s and when I was in high school in the 90s and everything. What we did as far as passing notes, we actually would write down something and pass a note to the DM if we wanted to do something that we didn't want the regular group to do. And we would also pass notes between players if we wanted to do things that other players shouldn't know about. And while it's probably not, I would say a lot of people don't like the idea because they think it creates like a suspicion in the group. But that's why I like it. It makes things a little more secretive. When I was playing at a convention game, it reminded me of, there was one DM named Dan, and he actually had those like the things you hold your bills at when you go to a restaurant. When you get your check, one of those black books that you put your credit card in with the bill, he would put it in there and he would hand it to us and say, hand this to, Stephanie. And she would get there and read it, and then she can respond with a little pen in there. It was kind of a cool concept how he did it. I mean, nothing really big, but it was cool just the way it was done. I like the idea of doing that. Now, this guy's post was talking about how he did it, and there was a guy that responded and said they used some type of group text. And I just went bleh when I saw that. And I mean, to each their own for their group, but I don't allow electronics at my table at all as far as when I'm gaming. Your phone obviously is there, because loved ones need to reach you, emergencies, there's, life happens. So you can't stop that from happening when you're playing a game. If you could do that, then you would have a perfect life and living in, I guess, a delusion. But no, I don't allow any tablets, computers at the table while we're playing. Nothing. I have enough books and everything that there's no need to look up things on PDF. I myself kind of use it as a DM, but that's because I have so many things I need to organize and look up real quick. That's fine. Players have enough time that when they're waiting for their turn or something, they can look at something through the book. And as far as passing notes, I didn't like the fact that they were using a group text because I find it distracting using electronics at the table. And when people if you start allowing one thing, it kind of is a gateway to another thing. When I allowed for a couple games that we were playing, I was just like, yeah, whatever, you want to use a tablet, to do this or that. And then one player's like, well, I want to use an electronic roller. I'm like, all right, fine. It turned into, oh, I rolled a 20, and then they wouldn't show you it. And then I would start saying, well, let me see the dice roll after you do it. And then they have one of those where they would move the dice. If you move the phone, it moves the dice type thing. So if they rolled a low number, they would say a higher number and then move the phone and be like, oops, this is the new number then, because it was a low number and they're lying. Yeah, it happened only a handful of times, like 2 or 3, whatever. But it was enough that I really didn't like that at all. And then when I was allowing like computers and stuff like that, people have character sheets. I noticed when I'm playing, I get a lot of people just looking at their screens and hear click, 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 click. And I'm just like, hello, what do you do? No answer. And then finally, no, because then people start surfing the web when they get bored, they get distracted, they have to do something. I just like, if you're playing a role-playing game, you're there to play the role-playing game and immerse yourself in the world and the story. If the story and the world is that fucking boring to you that you need to go click on Facebook during the game because you have nothing else to do, then you really just don't play the game. I suggest you get up and leave. Be honest and be like, hey, this is not working out for me. I mean, there are many games that I played in the past that I did not like, and I sat through the adventure and I at least gave the DM his full attention. And then towards the end, I packed up my stuff. I said, thank you for the game. And I basically pulled the DM aside and said, hey, listen, I'm not going to be coming back. I didn't have a good time. Nothing personal. Have a good day. And I would leave. I've done that many a times when I didn't like a game. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. So all I'm asking is if you're going to be sitting at the table, just pay attention to what the DM is doing. And if it's not your turn, be thinking about what you could be doing on your turn. I don't want to get to you, or no DM wants to get to you and say, all right, what are you doing this round? And have you go, No, that is the worst annoying sound any DM can hear when you get to them because you haven't been paying attention because you're on your phone or you're busy off in La La Land because you're bored. At that point, just leave. If you want to be rude, fine, be rude, but I'd rather have the player leave and be like, nah, this ain't working out. Cool, I'm out. So, like I said, I feel bad if you leave, but at least you're being honest. I mean, I've had one person out of all the years that we were gaming that I packed up and left after he suggested something and caused a fight in the group, and he left. He said, oh, I don't like this and this. And we had a group we were playing, and one of the players got nabbed by a doppelganger. So I pulled him aside. I talked to him about it, and the players didn't know, but then this guy figured it out kind of, and he said, oh man, doppelganger, I guess you're going to have to go against a group. It'd be really cool if you did this or that. And he made a whole bunch of suggestions, which the players said, I'm going to do that because it was a great idea. So when he did it, it led into a whole thing with the group, and they were role-playing back and forth, and it was getting like, gaming serious. And this guy was just like, wow, this is not cool, intergroup fighting. I didn't sign up for this. It's just like, dude, you suggested it. But whatever, and he left the game. The entire group looked at each other like, he was the dude that even suggested these very things. So maybe that was his way of telling me the game sucked and he didn't like the way I was doing it. So he decided to ruin the game like a fucking troll and leave. So that's fine. I mean, I never saw the guy again. He's a piece of shit and he left. So that's what I have to say about that. So with that said, tell me, do you allow electronics at the table? How do you pass notes at the table? Do you use group text on your phone or something like that? How does that all work in your campaigns? I'd be interested to hear what you think and also what you think about the situation that I had. Leave me a voicemail at anchor.fm/theevildm. Head over to theevildm.com and you can leave me a email message if you'd like, or hit me up on Facebook with FB. I think it's ME or FB.com/theevildungeonmaster is me on Facebook. And you can message me there if you'd like, or you can head over to rollhighordie.com is where all my actual plays will be. And you can leave a message there as well by contacting us through there. Unearthed Arcana podcast should be coming out in another week or so after we have had our creative meeting. I think by the time this comes out, we will have had our first creative meeting between myself, Eric, and Ronald Korn, and we should be ready to start the new podcast, hopefully without any issues going on. All right, with that said, I'm going to head out, so keep it original, keep it old school, and good night, everybody.